without giving any opinion of my own on this issue that's before us, my question would be to whoever here, they can answer the question, whether that be Jim or the mayor or Joe. What is, for any issue to be put on the agenda for the city council, what is the accepted procedure for any issue? Someone wishes to come before us speaking about some aspect of our city or a resolution that they create on their own. What is the standard practice?
It's covered under the committee of the whole. One of the items under the committee of the whole that a council member can bring forth an item and ask that it be put on a future agenda. Mm-hmm. And then the council as a whole would vote on that yes, they would like that on a future agenda. So
does it say vote in there?
Does it
say that we need to vote on it? Because we
should.
If it says that, that's what we should do.
Yeah.
If that's required, then that's the step that.
If you, I don't know if you'd bring it up that quick, just going by memory, but I'm quite certain when we created the memory of the committee of the whole, one of the line items on there was that the council member to get something on future agenda would request a committee of the whole and somebody would second it and then would be voted on. And I think it's under the check.
And this will be good information in general.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so that we'll all know how a little bit more about how we work.
Yeah, because to be fair, you know, you don't want a council member like Matt, you know, brought it up in good faith. We don't want to just brush it off and say, well, we're not going to put it on the agenda. There's got to be, the county board has something a little bit where it's a little bit harder, where if they get 5 members to sign a petition and the agenda.
So what you're saying is we're going to vote on it tonight and put it on the agenda?
Right now
we're looking to
Joanne's
see if it actually
ordinance.
says we need to vote or not on it for an agenda item.
Under power and duty?
Yeah, the committee of the whole, I think, under the list,
Discuss and review any and all proposed ordinances or resolutions and make recommendations to the city council regarding their necessity and appropriateness.
Okay, so that's something
And that's what we
to review. And does it say to make recommendation to the city council regarding their necessity and appropriateness? So that would be us here to discuss, and then our job now is to send on a recommendation to the council.
yeah.
and we have been discussing
Okay.
necessity and appropriateness. That's what this discussion has been.
Is there someone who would like to send on a recommendation? Okay. Right now it's not on tomorrow's agenda anyway, so that is not something that we could do at this time anyway.
I make a motion for the following agenda. Can we make a motion now, whether it should be on an agenda or not?
No, we can't.
I would make a motion that it is not.
Joe, would that be both of them or just the one dealing with the Patriot Act? Because I have 2 resolutions.
Well, we have an agenda that's already created for the
Yeah,
council
it would
meeting
have
that's
to be
next.
For me.
I would understand that if you wish to make a motion for one that has not yet been created and posted publicly, you can do that to either deny it or to apply it to that agenda.
I don't think it's appropriate.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
I mean, I'll make a motion for that, but it's not appropriate.
So we have a motion by Mr. Greeno to recommend that it would not be appropriate to add to a future agenda. Do we have a second?
I guess my whole,
The Patriot Act is what we're talking about now. We'll take the,
Right.
whatever the other
Okay.
one is separate, but the Patriot Act, okay, so we need a second?
Yes.
Okay, second.
We have a motion and a second, deeming it, recommending that it would not be appropriate to add that issue to a future council agenda. Discussion?
I guess it's, for me, it's, my discussion point here is that it's hard to make a decision without having read it. And I guess that's, you know, I understand the broad scope, yes, you know, appropriate, but without a person having read it, I think that is, I think it it's a disservice to the person who wrote it, and that's just my whole point, and that's all.
We have a motion and a second. All in-
As I said, give me a copy of it, but it's my responsibility to go forward with it, not the council.
I don't think there's anybody here who isn't willing to read it. That's not the issue.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Motion carried. Do we have discussion of other possible future agenda council items?
You had another one? You
Yes, I
is
have
it two?
an additional resolution. Do you want me to, should I read it when I propose it, or just?
What's the topic?
It's dealing with the private property and resolution of the City Council of Tomah, Wisconsin, supporting and upholding the Wisconsin Constitution, U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights, City Charter of Tomah, Wisconsin, as it relates to law enforcement accessing private property for non-emergency purposes without prior consent. And it's a one-page resolution.
What would be the purpose? I guess I don't understand why you would want that.
Well, if you'd like, I could read the entire, it's a one page, it's not
No.
very long.
No, that would have to be an
Okay.
agenda item.
Then I would make a motion that this be put on the agenda for July.
We have a motion adding that item in regards to
Law enforcement accessing private property for non-emergency purposes without prior consent.
we have a motion. Do we have a second to add that? Hearing no second, the motion dies. Do we have any other discussion under item 29, discuss for future council agenda items?
So if I get this straight, I cannot put anything on the agenda without it going through this board?
I would have to,
Because I was under the impression when I was at the League of Wisconsin Municipalities meeting that anything as a member of the board that I were to take to the clerk could be put on the agenda as it pertains to city business. I wasn't sure if what was discussed earlier was just something that local law adoption of that, or if that was state.
chairing this particular meeting, I don't have the depth of information on that functioning. Perhaps we'd have to clarify, and that would probably benefit all of us.
I'd like to clarify that, and you're probably right on that, if you read the scope or code of ordinances and how that goes, you're probably right on that too. I think what gets questionable too is that these resolutions tend to be federal in nature, and I think our focus typically is going to be on city issues. There's reference being here to a resolution passed out of the state, and rightfully so, that recommendation at the state level had a direct impact on recycling for everyone of the state. It was the budget impact, it was a local issue where this is unique.
So this would be then an ordinance issue that I could bring up instead of a resolution.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this is, in all the years I've been involved with city government, that's going on 27, this has never come up before from the local level.
I guess I don't know what the impact would be if we put it on the agenda. What would you?
We'd allow discussion and review of it.
But I think I could best answer that this way. On the one topic in particular, it came up, it was discussed because of uniqueness, but now I think there's been a motion made that the council as a whole did not want to review that.
Yeah, because even I would question even the discussion that we're having now about these future agenda items as being in violation of open records. I don't know if it is or if it isn't. The whole point is to be able to allow something to be put on for future discussion. Because we cannot, I can't go individually one-on-one and discuss and get a walking forum. The idea would be to at least be able to discuss, and this is the avenue of discussing an item. If I have to approve everything that's going to be discussed, I'll never be able to talk with anybody. I guess this is probably the last thing I bring before the board, but I guess I just want to make sure that I'm doing it the correct way and not just be shut down without being heard. I bet that's part of why we have the open records and agendas.
And I don't think anyone here is intending to take away from your intentions at all, too, is like I said, this is federal in nature, and I don't know that we're gonna change anything.
Oh, I don't think this one is federal. I think this is dealing with our local police force.
Our police force does what we say, as far as we have the ordinances, and they follow the federal and state and our ordinances. And we have a very, very good police department that follows what we want them to do. They're one of the top-notch ones. I can't see undercutting them.
Well, this wouldn't be an undercutting of them. It would be an upholding of property owners' rights.
Mr. Chairman, I think to clear up Councilmember Boyea's question, can the individual council member do that? We'd have to get a ruling from our city attorney and the league of municipalities.
As chairman of the committee, I would also recommend that we go to the experts we have on hand and neither take the steps, affirmative or otherwise, until we have the correct expert's opinion on how we proceed according to our Constitution and Robert's Rules of Order. I'd like to close discussion on the future council items at this time. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.